Hello class, I'm here to talk about problem 6. I strongly advise you that you review problem 7. I have given you details in what numbers goes where. I don't want this video be way too long, so please watch problem 7 first in order to solve this problem if you need the details, okay? So all I did is problem 6 from your book right here is it from page 445. I just copy all this part over here into the Excel spreadsheet template that I made, which is this information right here. This, I replicated this information, but I just put it in numbers so to make it faster for you so you don't have to go through all this trouble. I put the questions over here, and here is a little table that we're going to be using in order to get your answers. Where did I get all these values? Well, first of all, I'm going to be calling immediate predecessors as IP, okay, for just short. And then what I did is I look at this table over here, which I'm going to move it for now so it makes it easier for you to see it. How did I define the IPs? If you look at A and B, we know there's nothing before, right? Right here, because they're all connected to the star. So there was nothing. If we look at C, you see there's one arrow that connects to C, which is A. Therefore, your immediate predecessor is A for C. For D, there is one arrow connected to D, so we know the IP for D is A. For E, there is one arrow, so the IP is B. For F, you have two arrows connect to it, is the best way to remember. Therefore, your IPs for F come from D and from E, right here. For G, you have two arrows going to G. Therefore, you have two IPs, which are D and E as well. And for H, you have two arrows going to H, which your IP then is going to be C and F right here. What is telling you cannot possibly begin H, for example, until you complete C and F, and so far and so on. Okay, so let me put that back up here, and I'm gonna show you what else I did. It gives you the activity and the activities in the time in weeks. So if you remember from our previous videos, the blue I use for activity times. So all I did, I went ahead and did A is 5 weeks, B is 3 weeks, C 7 weeks, D is 6 weeks, E 7 weeks, F is 3 weeks. Make sure you don't get them confused. G is 10 weeks and H is 8 weeks. Then there is your start and finish, which start is always all 0. I have added the questions here. And why did I put the little table? Because this is gonna help us. And here I copied the activity times again in weeks. Okay. And because it's going to be easier for us to determine the slack and the critical path. Okay, even though by doing this, you're going to see all that already. Okay, so let's start. So remember, we're going to do earliest start plus activities earliest finish. On the way back, latest start, latest finish minus activity is latest start. That's the way I do it. If there is any other way you do it, please feel free to do it so. So our earliest start for A and B is nothing before. So we're just going to go is equals to this earliest finish. Equals to this earliest finish. Right now, and then the next one, let's go to C. Okay, C has two, uh, let me see. No, C has one arrow going in. So you only have one predecessor. Before we do that, we need to add the right here to find the earliest finish for A. We're gonna do 0 plus the activity time, which is 5. These two right here. For B, it's gonna be 0 plus the activity time. Oops, 3. Okay, so we have A and B. For C, you only have one arrow, so it could only be the earliest finish for A. So now let's add this too. So it's going to be the earliest start plus, uh, let me do numbers so you can see it better. Earliest start plus the activity time. That's my earliest finish. Okay, for D, there is only one arrow going in, so it's going to be equals to 5, correct? From your IP, you have 5, is only one, so 5. So now we're going to do early start plus activity time. Okay, and then for E, you also have one arrow going in, so it can only be 3. Right here is gonna be my early start plus, oh, I forget that I'm doing the numbers. The reason why I refer to the cells, if you change one value, everything else updates for you. If you do numbers, you have to go back and search which number you have changed. But since I'm trying to, for you to see the calculations, that's why I did it again. It's just a habit. Sorry about that. 3 plus 7, okay, the early start plus activity. Okay, now is the tricky part. F has 2 arrows going in. Do you see that? Okay, remember what I said in the previous video. You need the highest. The reason is you cannot possibly, like, if it's gonna take, E is gonna take 10 weeks and D is gonna take 11 weeks, you could not possibly start F until you complete D, which is the highest. Therefore, we're gonna be using 11 for F. So then let's finish this one, equals to 11 plus the activity time. So 14 weeks. Okay, for G, we also have 2 arrows being 11 and 10. If you're using the highest, then we're going to do 11 again. Okay, and then we're going to do equals to 11 plus the, oh, is the habit. I'm so sorry. 11 plus 10. Okay, we're almost done with the top part. Okay, so then on right here you have 2. Do you see 2 arrows going in? Which one is the highest? It's the 14. So we're gonna do equals to this one, and on your calculation is gonna be 14 plus 8. Therefore, your earliest start for this one is also the highest one. So 14, 21, and 22, correct? So we're gonna have 22 right here, or equals to 22. And then right here, we're going to have equals to activity time is 0. So right here, you already answer how many weeks will you take the project. 22 weeks, just by looking at it. Okay, to go back, we're going to copy the earliest finish. It's going to be the same for the latest finish right here. Okay, now we're subtracting the latest right here. Latest finish minus activity is the latest start. Latest finish minus activity is the latest start. But now instead of getting the highest, we're gonna get the lowest. Just think as bottom lowest. Maybe that will help you to remember. So we have 22 minus go now diagonal minus 0 is 22. Okay, so now we have 22 for all of them, correct? Actually, let me think. We have 22 for, no, because once we do, you gotta go H first, and then since this connects here, so we're gonna do H first. So let's go ahead and do it. Equals to my late start time. It's 22. So 22 minus 8. So 22 minus 8, so that's 14. Okay, so now is the tricky part. Do you see how H is connected by 2 arrows? Okay, so right here, you're gonna do 14. And right here, you're also gonna do 14. Wait, 14, and oh, and right here, you're also gonna use 14 because the 2 arrows are going to C and F, right? Remember the IPs? So 14 minus 3, it's 11. And then 14 minus 7, correct? That's 7. Okay, right here. So we went in, okay, I left G out. So the finish is going to H into G. I should have gone through this first. Sorry about that. So equals to 22 So 22 minus my activity, that's 10, okay? It's 12. So now I can solve this too. Okay, so let me think. F, G, H. Okay, now we're gonna go through to E. So for E, you have the lowest 12 and the values are 12 and 11. Well, your lowest, because you're going the other way, is 11. So for E, it's gonna be 11. So right here, you're gonna have 11 minus 7. Okay, it's F and G right here are going to D. Which one is the lowest? That's 11. So we're gonna do 11 minus the activity time. Okay. Okay, now I have done this one in advance, so we're almost done. Hang in there. Let's go through B. B, you only have one possible one, which is right here, which is 4, right? So then you're gonna do equals to 4 minus the activity time, oops, which is 3, correct? And for A, you have 2. We have 75. Which one is the lowest? It's 5. So we're going to do equals to this one, which is going to be equals to 5 minus 5. And you have completed this bar. So now we are going to go ahead and what are the questions? Okay, we need to identify the critical path. Another thing that you could potentially do now, let me move this up in here, see if that works, is to do this table. It might change the format though. Yeah, that's okay. Is to do this table, which you will define the critical path, and then there's like for you without you even doing these calculations over here. But that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do early start for A. It's right here, and then early start for B. And let's go a little higher. Early start for C, D, E, F. Be careful, you don't get the wrong one. G, H. Okay, now we have the latest start. Okay, so the latest start, which is down here, equals to latest start, C, D, E, F, G, H. Earliest finish, it's over here. Earliest finish, earliest finish. F, F, it's over here. G is over here. H is over here, and then now the latest finish, which is the little box, the last box right here, oh, equals to this box. D, E, F is over here, G, and H. Perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna have to do here to determine the slack, which I'm gonna show how to do on over here on the project network as well. Let's go ahead and do the latest start minus the earliest finish. The earliest start, sorry about that. Here you go. So now I'm just gonna drag it down this formula. Okay, so if you do remember from the previous video, anything that is 0, should even make it more dramatic. Let's change this to white maybe. Okay. Anything that is 0, we're going to mark with red. Why? That means those are critical. Therefore, you cannot delay any weeks on them. If you delay any week, then everything else goes off track. So we're going to put, is it a critical path? Yes. No, no, yes, no, yes, no, and then yes, which you can already go ahead and answer here. Okay, so my critical path is going to be A. Once I move, the format is going to get better. So A, D, F, H, correct? Yes. So that's the first answer right here. Okay, so then now let's go ahead and do on the project network so you can see that how that works. So first, if I'm saying latest start, so right here, your latest start is 14 and your earliest finish, which is on the top, is 14. So H would be 0, correct? Right here. So if you don't have anything else, you can calculate like that as well. I just want to show you. So your latest start, and I'm actually going to do the cells this time. My latest start minus my early finish, and then my equals to my latest start minus my EF. So LS minus, not EF, ES. So LS minus ES. Nope, incorrect. I know I did incorrect. LS minus ES. LS minus ES. LS minus ES. LS minus ES. Okay, now if you compare to your table, do they look alike? So A says it's 0 right here. B says it's 1. C says it's 2. D says it's 0. E says it's 1. F says it's 0. G says it's 1. And H says it's 0. So your critical paths, right? Which you already put it over here. So now you should have enough information to answer everything. It did take longer because I'm explaining and showing the format, but it shouldn't take that long. How much time will be needed to complete the project? Well, we answer right at first, 22 weeks, correct? Okay, so we can go ahead and move this down here, but for now, let's just leave it there. So can activity D be delayed without delaying the entire project? So if you look at activity D and there's lag, what do you think? It's right on the critical path, so no, no. Uh, Activity D is on the critical path, is on a critical. Oh, can activity C be delayed without delaying the entire project? If so, by how many weeks? Well, C, yes, you have is like of 2 weeks. Remember, these are weeks, so it's fine. So it's yes. Um, Yes, we may delay activity C by 2 weeks, but no more than 2 weeks though. And what is the schedule for activity E? So let's look at a schedule for activity E, which is we're gonna have to actually type the numbers. So we can do early start. Trying to take the bullet out of it. Early start is equals 3, correct? For activity E, early start is 3. Okay. Then the late start is equals 4, correct? The earliest finish is equals 10, and the latest finish it's equals to 11. And then you would be done with problem 6, which is your assigned homework. I know it's time consuming, and obviously that's why we have other ways to calculate all this, because depending on the business, you have to have something a little faster. However, this is pretty accurate. As long as you get all the numbers correct, this is pretty accurate. And the good thing about when you do refer to the cells is that I want to see, if I had referred to the cells and I want to make any changes here to see really how it would affect my whole project. Okay, and that would be it for problem 6.